welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a delicious, once again, salad recipe for you. This is for the Green Goddess dressing. Now, before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that we have an affiliate link with Chef's Temp. If you need a kitchen thermometer or meat probe, please check out the link in the description below for 15% off your order and use code LOVEYOURFOOD on checkout. In the meantime, let's get going with our ingredients for this, what sounds like a vegetarian recipe but isn't. We've got a bunch of fresh herbs. We've got some dill, some chives, some cilantro, some parsley, some mint, some thyme, and some basil as well. We're going to use the juice and zest of a lemon, some olive oil, and a little bit of anchovy paste as well. And the main ingredient is going to be a bunch of yogurt. Typically, this is done with sour cream. We use yogurt because we've got some amazing yogurt. But Greek yogurt, sour cream, Baltic yogurt, any of those will work for this. If your yogurt's really thick, you may wish to thin it a little bit with some buttermilk or something like that, because you do want to be able to pour this. It's a dressing. Now, first thing we're going to do is get some of the worst stems out. Any stems that are tough or woody, we're going to get those out. And then, because this is going in the food processor, we're just going to give this sort of a rough chop to make sure there's no really long pieces of anything. We don't want it to get wrapped around the spindle, which can cause some problems. So we're just going to give this kind of a rough chop to make sure it's small enough to actually get blended in the food processor. And we're not going to get super small or anything. We just want to make sure there's no long chunks of stem or long leaves or anything in there. And there we go. So just a rough chop on there, nothing particularly fine or even. We're just trying to get it small enough to go in the food processor. So into the food processor it goes. And we're going to, on top of that, we're going to add in our lemon zest. So we're just going to use the zest from a lemon here. And then once we've finished with the zest, we're going to open that up and strain in the juice as well. Now, it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of pulp in there, but you definitely don't want to get any seeds, so just make sure you're not getting any seeds in there. Mostly we want the juice, of course. We want that nice sort of acidic tang to it. Some salt goes in next, as well as our yogurt, and we want to make sure we get all of it, so we're just going to scrape that out into our food processor. So there we go. We got all of our yogurt in there. We've got our many herbs. We're going to add that little bit of anchovy paste. Now this just adds a little bit of richness, a little bit of umami to it. This sort of nice sort of accent to the rest of it. So you've got that sourness from the yogurt and the lemon juice. You've got that herbiness from all of those greens in there. And then just that little bit of anchovy paste adds that really sort of unctuous sort of flavor to it. So we're just going to blend this. You want to scrape down the sides at least once. And you can see it's a little bit runny at this point. But we're going to add in our olive oil. And we're going to start blending it again. We also added a little bit of garlic to this. That's optional. We did throw in a couple of garlic cloves when we got everything going here. Now, the other thing we did is we let this chill for a while. So we blended it all together. The olive oil sort of helps emulsify it and thicken it a little bit. But it really sort of came into its own after we had let it chill for a couple of hours at least. If you want to let it chill overnight, that will work as well. But we really let it chill for a little while, and it came out a lot thicker once it had been in the fridge for a bit. So then we're just going to assemble our salads from there. It's really, really simple. So we've got these beautiful tomatoes. We have some nice little baby romaines here. So we're just going to cut those into quarters. And I mean, from here, you can, whatever salad sort of presentation you like, you can do. We're going to make it a little bit more like a wedge salad, as you've seen us do recently. This is kind of a mini wedge salad. And, decide how you want to put it on the plate, really. It's all up to you. So we're just going to intersperse the tomatoes and the little baby romaine wedges. And then we're just going to chop a little bit more of the fresh chives to go on top as a little bit of a garnish. And we also have a little bit of bacon cooking while we're doing this, and that's going to go on top. But here we go. So you can see it has thickened up a little bit, and we've got all those beautiful herbs in there. It's that beautiful green color. Now, if you want to leave out the anchovy paste for this, you can, and it remains vegetarian, although not vegan because it's got dairy in it. A little bit of that chive on top. And then we're just going to toss a little bit of bacon or sausage or whatever. A little bit of meat doesn't hurt in there. Again, that is completely optional. We just wanted to add that. Also, we added a little bit of sort of grana padano on top, or Parmesan, just to add that sort of salty, again, that salty, cheesy sort of aroma. And a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper really helps bring everything together. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Super simple. It's really just tossing everything into a blender or a food processor and taking it from there. You do want to add that little bit of olive oil as well. It really helps emulsify it and make it come out a little bit thicker. And yeah, we hope you'll give this one a try. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. We'd like to thank our patrons over on Patreon. I'll put a link in the description below for that as well if you'd like to support us there. And remember to love your food.